Oh, that's satisfactory.
What is flat or who is Flat Eric?
Welcome back to Would John Rather. John, are you here?
No.
Other John,
No.
are you here? Oh,
No.
who's that?
This is so fucking cheesy. It's Nathan. We know it's Nathan. We know it's your brother.
Yeah, okay, yeah. John couldn't make it this week. Unfortunately, fortunately, depending on your disposition, I guess. Yeah, my brother's here to step in. Say hello, brother.
Hello, brother.
Good, good. I'm sure that gets funnier every time we make that joke.
100%.
Have you finished building your chest of drawers?
Yep.
Good. That needs no explanation. So, anyway, this is Would John Rather, a podcast where it gets more and more difficult to describe because we constantly change the concept a little bit every week. But essentially, it's would you rather questions, and there's always at least one John involved. I think that's...
When there's not.
Well, no, there always is.
Oh, yeah, true. That was the other idea.
Yeah, I don't think we've had an episode where there isn't at least one John involved.
One John sounds like a Chinese buffet.
I'd go to it.
You want your one John soup? And there we go. Early on.
Chinese people offended.
Chinese people offended. We do apologise. Or not.
Do you apologise on this?
Sometimes. I think it depends how far over the mark we go. I don't think that was too far. One John sounds like wonton, and that is a type of Chinese soup. So, yeah. Apology retracted, thanks to my brother. You can direct any anger towards him. I've got 3 questions this week, all fairly relevant. Some for the present, some for the future, some for further in the future, or the past, because it's how it was inspired. But we'll go through them one by one. So, the first one, as you know, we do record ahead of schedule. This isn't live.
Yeah, how great was Brexit? That happened exactly on the 31st of October.
We do not record that far in advance.
We are recording on Halloween. Did you get many people knocking at your doors?
0.
Not a single person.
None?
Nope.
No.
Really? For both of you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We haven't put any pumpkins outside the front of the house. It's not our national holiday, unlike it's yours.
Oh, okay, so you don't like Halloween?
I don't mind eating chocolate, but I've got to go through papers myself. Oh, that's true, yeah. Easter.
Ah, interesting. See, I was driving home from work on the phone to Lauren, and there's people knocking at the door, not fucking answering. And I went, well, that'll be good for when we have kids and we go trick-or-treating and people don't answer. And then that's how you get disinterest as a parent going, what's the fucking point of doing anything with them? And, then she went, fine. And I got home, there was pumpkins in the window, the front light porch switch was on, and I had to answer every single kid that came to the door. And I realised as I was doing it, I've never answered the door to trick-or-treaters before. I didn't know what to do. We had so many sweets. Lauren investigated shortly after it was end of children time, knocking on the door to see what was left. There was not enough of the good stuff left. Wasn't pleased. But anyway, and we had so many sweets because I was excited. I wasn't allowed to give out full-size candy, if you will, as it's an American holiday. So I was like, I'm going to let everyone take 2. So they'd come up and they were always really polite, and the parents were like, what do you say? Blah, blah, blah. And literally every single time until I realised at which point nobody else knocked at the door, every single time I'd whisper to them, take a second one, quick. Shouldn't whisper at children on my doorstep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose it can't be that bad because they've chosen to knock to your doorstep. It's not like you've gone to a child on their doorstep.
Exactly. So
you weren't walking around the trick-or-treaters going, do you want a sweet?
Well, no, exactly. And
Quick, take a second.
Well, there were good sweets, there were bad sweets. I picked the good sweets, obviously. We bought them. They had miniature bags of like Halloween biscuits for sale. So we bought them. And then I went, who wants biscuits when you go trick-or-treating? And actually, mini penguin biscuits. Oh, I loved it. I had some Reese's cups in there if they were like into American candy. It was brilliant. And the best part for me was the last couple of kids that came to the door, and then that was it. The mum was stood on the pavement far away with a can of cider, and I went, "Yep, one and a kin." And I said to him, I went, "Take some more. If you leave them here, I'll have to get fat." And the kids took another one and went, "Thank you." And she went, "Oh, wish everyone was like you." And I was like, "Yeah, so do I."
That would be a terrifying world. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The best one, to be fair, as we're talking about Halloween, it is Halloween, even though our Halloween episode was last week. But, you get like, the kids are normally sort of 5, 6, around that age, 6, 7, something like that. You get the odd 11-year-old or whatever, fine. But these 4 kids came to the door, 3 of them were 6 or 7, and one of them must have been about 2 or 3, easy. He was tiny, dressed as a skeleton. And I said to all the kids, "Take another one, please do." And they went, "Oh, thank you." And the kid looked at me, looked at this huge bowl of sweets, and just smiled. And it was like the Crane game. He just put his fist in, bearing in mind it's a small hand, but just grabbed as many and he must have taken about 6 or 7 sweets. And I was like, "You fucking go, lad. You go." I was well impressed. So anyway, question 1.
I forgot you were even going to ask a question.
I thought it was story time.
Story time with friends. Would you rather have a shit costume or not dress up at all?
For what? Work? Going to court? Christmas?
Halloween.
Halloween was last week.
Well, it is to the listeners, but for us it's now. It's up to you whether it's for work, whether it's for a party, basically the place you're going is fancy dress.
I'd rather turn up with no costume because I've turned up with a shit costume before, and it's really difficult explaining to people what you are when you don't really have a clue yourself.
I'm going to say a shit costume because unless you're going like all out proper like cosplay, the worse the costume is normally the better it is.
Can you justify why?
Can you expand?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm still going with no costume because I went to the glorious establishment, level 2, one Friday night, and it happened to be Halloween, and everyone made a real effort, and I was just going around to our friend's house to drink beer, and I was told we were going out, so they attacked me with loads of mascara and like eyeliner and makeup and stuff to make me look spooky, and then attached my hair with hairspray. And I just looked like I'd received an electric shock and been left to die.
I mean, it sounds like you went as a drag queen.
Yeah, it does, but there wasn't enough sequins, and going in drag isn't quite as big as it is now.
Also, you said it
was in his infancy.
It said like you said it looked like you'd been left to die. That sounds like a perfect Halloween costume.
Yeah.
But when people go, "Oh, what have you come as?" Don't really know. Oh, okay.
You should have said it again.
I don't look normal. I didn't look
against my will.
like anything. Well, that was every time I went to level 2, so I didn't think it was justified to wheel that old chestnut out because that's an everyday thing for me.
Level 2 was a shit nightclub to people that aren't familiar with Huntingdon, because why would you be?
Oh, it was the worst nightclub. Everything was sticky.
That is every nightclub.
Yeah, true.
But there is an element of, again, any nightclub. A lot of people look like they've done a really shit dress up. That's sometimes just people's fashion sense.
Well, I've been there, done that. I walked into level 2 with a skull on my t-shirt, and that was apparently good enough to get free entry.
Oh, because you were dressed up as Sid from Toy Story.
More like if Beetlejuice was Sid from Toy Story. What sort of costume is that? It's ridiculous. Nobody got time for that.
I mean, I think you could get away with dressing up as Sid or Beetlejuice for Halloween, and combining the two is just, well, second level, isn't it?
Yeah, well, nice. And that's level 2.
I've got to be honest. I'm rubbing my temples. I forgot what it's like dealing with 2 of you.
The thing I'm leaning more towards mid-argument is...
This is only mid-argument. This one's really hard to argue either way.
Not dressing up for Halloween, for me, is like deliberately going in your uniform to non-uniform day. Like, it's not hard for fancy dress.
No,
I mean,
which
that
is
seems
why,
like-
if it's not that hard, why would you go in a crap costume? Don't half-ass anything, whole-ass something.
I will speak on our I was going to say deceased friend,
Posthumous.
but he's just not here. He's not died, definitely not dead. I spoke to him 10 hours ago, so possibly dead, but not last time we spoke to him anyway.
He's going to listen to this and be like, wow, cheers, thanks for that.
He'll send out a tweet saying, just to confirm, not dead. But he did go to a fancy dress party when we were in sixth form, just wrapped in tinfoil, as tinfoil man.
I do hope you mean literally just tinfoil, like no clothes on underneath.
He had
Because
some.
that is a very risky move.
He's a very attractive man. He had to wear some clothes because otherwise it'd have been like pass the parcel but with sausage meat. But every time someone called him out on his shit costume, he just went, damn, foiled again. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't he then go to the Christmas party the same year, dressed as Christmas paper man?
I don't know if that's true, but
Wrapping paper man or something.
possibly. I don't feel like wrapping paper's got as much give as tinfoil.
It would definitely shred quite easily.
And then at the end of the night, he could have said he went dressed as Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so win-win.
Or just a hamster bed.
Yeah, true.
I am the embodiment of Boxing Day.
But then, I guess with the shit costume as well, it depends how shit. If you've just rocked up in a suit and put a mask on, then it's like, why bother?
Yeah.
What's the point?
But
if you've
did we
tried-
not all do that as like 15, 16-year-olds to go trick-or-treating?
No, I didn't. I didn't have
No,
enough.
I wore a suit on non-uniform day at school, and everyone thought I was a trainee teacher. I gave a child detention. He turned up to Mr.
That is
He
amazing.
turned up to Mr. Hall's classroom at break and got very confused why I was there. And then he spotted me like weeks later in civvies, and he called me out on it, and I went, yeah, and.
Oh, that is brilliant.
But I think like resourceful costumes aren't shit costumes. If our esteemed colleague didn't have a costume to hand and went as tinfoil man, he tried. He was resourceful. But yeah, just wearing a suit and a mask, it's the minimal amount of effort available.
Well, not that I use
To
this
be
pod.
fair,
Go
though,
on.
most Halloween costumes are minimal effort, aren't they? It's you buy it, you put it on, job done. I'd say more effort has actually gone into being tinfoil man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so this is
You
different
can't-
between a shit costume and a shit costume. A shit costume is wearing your normal clothes and putting a mask on or covering it in blood. A shit costume where you've taken the time and effort to make a costume that looks shit is different. So it's not so much the final result as the effort that's gone into it.
Wait. So
So what you're saying
depending
is,
on your reflection,
I'm
which
putting
one
in
is
a lot of
Nathan's
effort.
voting?
The second one, clearly.
Oh,
So I've
the
put a
actual
lot of effort in, but it is a shit costume, but it looks quite good because of the effort I've put in. So
Whereas
clear.
I'm campaigning against the other shit costumes, which is no effort and is rubbish. So we're both in agreement. Shit costume one is awful, and you either don't bother or you do bother and have a shit costume that's actually quite good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you said you'd rather not dress up.
I'd rather not dress up than wear a suit and a mask, or just wear a Pennywise mask and not bother with everything else. Like I saw some guy do when I was going to Tesco to get chips. this
Well,
evening.
as Dear Brother is the embodiment of John, and John's interpretation of shit costume is
Tinfoil man.
it is tinfoil man or something along those lines where it's a lot of effort to look shit on purpose. I'm gonna have to go with shit costume.
Yeah. How is John won it? He's not even here.
It wasn't deliberate. It was just
No, I can't deny him that. Tinfoil Man was very ahead of his time, I think.
so. Oh,
One second.
suggest.
Carry on.
Suggestions of the week time. Do we have any suggestions?
No, other than trying to find out words that I don't know actually exist.
Yeah,
Energy transference.
that was what you wanted to know. And I guess
Must
because
have
you just built, a chest of drawers, and we were talking about IKEA. Maybe our suggestion of the week is: there's no need to screw it to the wall. None of us have done. None of us have been hit by falling furniture. Just a waste of time.
I do pretty much have all of those fixings to the wall in a bag. Going, yeah, I'll do that at some point.
Yeah.
But I move my furniture around more often than I decide that I'm happy with where it is, and I don't want 100 holes in the wall. And I know
Exactly.
someone else that would agree with that, and that's Mother.
Yeah, and none of the stuff's ever fallen down. So
I know you two love your mum dearly, but the distaste when you said mother sounds like there's a story behind holes and walls and you two.
No, it's just the amount that Mum moves furniture around.
Oh, really? She's got the issue.
Yeah, she passed it on to me as well.
we
I didn't realise it was
inherited the
hereditary.
issue.
Oh, you poor souls.
It's the only reason that I've taken a mate is so that I stop moving furniture around. Because there's no need for it. You look at the room, you look at the furniture, and you go, this is the optimum position for everything.
It just makes trips to places like IKEA really awkward, because you go into their showrooms and you go, no, because you know they've not secured it to the wall either.
Of
You
course
just
they
start
haven't.
moving the wardrobe to the other side, spinning the bed round. When I was in IKEA, they had an announcement of a code 1000 in the toilets.
Wow.
I can only guess what a code 1000 was, but it took about 15 minutes and then the code 1000 was over.
But more importantly, why are you rearranging the furniture in IKEA?
That was a joke about the problem that we've inherited from Mum. But
Oh, okay. Right, I'm with you. Anyway, question 2. So, when you inevitably listen to this, it will be around, before, or far after bonfire night.
I thought you were going to say the other big.
Can you run that past me again? I may have dropped my phone on the floor.
Oh my life! It's
Question 2.
Question 2, bonfire night. Guy Fawkes and all that shiz. So, would you rather fireworks were mandatory or fireworks were illegal?
Well, at the moment they're mandatory, so I don't
Illegal.
understand
They aren't mandatory.
I'm going to say illegal.
Again.
Yep.
Okay, so if I'm going to go to pretty much anywhere for the next week, there will be fireworks going off. I don't want them to be going off, but they will be going off because it's that time of year.
Yeah, but you've also decided that you want them to be mandatory.
I'm still
mandatory or
unsure
not, they're there.
what you mean by that.
Mandatory means they have to happen.
Yeah, but is it the same as now, or is it just they have to happen on bonfire night, full stop?
Oh no, they're just mandatory. Any celebration.
Oh yeah, definitely make them illegal.
For any celebration.
Any celebration.
It's Wednesday! Yeah, fuck that. They're annoying. They're great when you're a kid. You look at it and go, wow, colours exploded in the sky. But as an adult, 1, how expensive are they? 2, how
Shut up.
expensive are they? And 3, how expensive are they?
Right. I tell you, the last set of fireworks I set off was at mine and Mikey D's joint birthday party, and they were free because I worked some overtime for a fireworks place and was given them for free. We set them off, stood way too close, and they were fucking amazing.
Are they the ones when he lived in the middle of nowhere?
Yes.
Are they
those
the
ones.
ones where the last one didn't go off, we gave it enough time, went over to go and inspect, and it re-sparked itself, so I booted it into the field and you all shouted at me?
Yes.
Were they the ones that we had exactly 15 people, one with a slow exposure camera, enough sparklers that I was asked, what is a 14-letter phrase? And I said, fuck off, you cunt. And someone went, how did you do that so quickly? I said, it's a gift. Orchestrated and arranged everyone into the right places, made sure everyone knew to do their letters backwards, and I did
And
the
you gave the
C's.
simpleton of the group the O.
The O, I did, but I also picked myself for the C and spent so long making sure everyone else knew what they did that the C in the picture was backwards.
Do you know who else did the backwards letter that night?
You?
Myself. It was me and you that got the letters backwards.
Did you? You had the N, didn't you?
I either had an N or an S.
No, you had the N because I gave you the N for Nathan.
Yes, and I got it backwards. So everything was in line except mine and your letters that were backwards.
The C and the N. Yeah, I wish I could find that picture. It was taken down off Facebook, which is unfortunate.
Because even with the backwards letters, it still recognised it's spelled fuck off, you cunt.
Yeah, it was just when I was I'll come up with a 37 letter. Nope, that's because I looked at the time of how long we've been recording. 14-letter phrase, and that was what I came up with, and I thought it was appropriate and it was very good.
That was very good.
But
So
I'm
you
gonna
won that argument for me with good times. Thank you.
well, I'm gonna call this argument very quickly because number one, I hate bonfire night. Number two, shut up. Number three, I always thought that I would go in favour of illegal fireworks, but brother, your only argument was that they're too expensive. You didn't
That was
care.
my opening argument.
It's too late. The number one argument should be about how they're damaging to pets, and you weren't quick enough on the uptake. And I don't want to talk about fireworks anymore. Oh, bright lights go bang bang. They're shit, but they win. Sorry. Mandatory now. Every day, 365 days a year, fireworks.
Have you seen?
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man!
The Muffin Man!
I'm going to get told off for this. I'm shouting too much already.
Sorry, I've only got one question left.
Have you seen, not the Muffin Man, but I think it's like a school nativity where they set the fireworks off.
The indoor fireworks that weren't indoor fireworks.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's in a tiny hall, and I think only one parent goes to protect the children.
Yeah, everyone just scarpers, and there's just a load of kids dressed as like Mary and Joseph and sheep on stage, just screaming, and the parents just scarper. They're just fucking gone.
Mate,
It is
21 seconds long, and I'm going to watch it when this is.
They're just explosives.
Oh.
They. I mean, we've told the story a million times before about our father who blew up a table with a Roman candle. There's no need to talk about it again. Where he set the shed door on fire with a Roman candle. Ferris wheel, Catherine wheel.
That's where he was going wrong.
Set a Ferris wheel on fire.
Would you like your third question?
No.
Yeah, go on then.
Oh, well, I don't know what to do. This is my would I rather. Oh. Well, I've got an announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I disagree.
I am engaged. To all our female listeners, I'm sorry.
It just sounded like you're engaged to all your female listeners.
No,
One of which is your mum.
Yeah.
I proposed in a graveyard to Lauren. Come Valentine's Day, hopefully she'll record again and she'll tell you what a mistake she's made. But until then, you'll hear from me how she's happy. So anyway, would you rather... And you've both had weddings, so I don't know what I think. I'm going to say that phrase again because I hesitated and I don't know why. So you've both had weddings, so you both know what goes into it. Because obviously, I've only been engaged like 4 or 5 days, but the conversations about weddings have already started. So would you rather you plan the entire wedding from beginning to end and they have no say, or they plan the entire wedding from beginning to end and you have no say?
Day plan.
I'd love to plan it. This is brilliant. This is cool. I can get behind this.
Now, legal disclaimer, depending on how my engagement and wedding goes, all hinges on this would you rather discussion. So, the floor is open.
Okay, if I've got a Planet All, I'm going to give that TV station a call and ask if I can be on Don't Tell the Bride, and then I get a TV crew filming the whole thing and filming my wedding for me, that I can record on the Skybox, and I'll have that forever, as well as being given 14 grand to plan a wedding. It would be quite nice, because funding it yourself is a pain in the arse, because all you're doing is paying for lots of other people to eat food that you supplied, and half of them will be really happy to be there, and half of them you don't know that well, and there's a percentage of the collective that you're making criticisms about it. It's like, well, I can't please you. It doesn't matter what I do.
I just to clarify, for any listeners who don't know us, I flew back halfway around the world to come to John's wedding. I had a very good time. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I'd like to think... No, he did enjoy me being there, because he referenced me in his speech, at which I told him that if he made the joke he was going to do, I was going to quote Step Brothers. He made it. Nobody else got it, but we did, so that was fine.
We did. That's all that matters.
But I also did spend the entire day judging his wedding. Now, not because of the wedding. It was because of the venue. And I'm sure I've told you this. I spoke to the manager later on in the night. Is this a big expose?
It might be. I'm not planning to get married there again, so you can tell me.
Yeah. No. We won't say the venue name, because it was a nice venue. It was a nice venue. Like, everything was good. But because I work in the industry and I run weddings, like, kind of for a living, not as much anymore, but I used to do it. I was sat there, and it was our good friend Josh's partner who was sat next to me. Josh, who does the art for our podcast. And she went, "What are you doing?" No, that's nothing. Why are you counting? And because I was so overtired, I was trying to I think it was when everyone was eating and nobody was really talking, but I was just counting under my breath all little mistakes the servers were making, because I can't switch off because I do it for a living. And she figured it out. And I was like, oh, now I feel bad. But it wasn't a reflection on the wedding, it was a reflection on staff. But later on in your wedding, after we'd done however many shots at the bar, I got speaking to someone. Turns out they were the manager there. Turns out, from what I remember him telling me, basically a big portion of their staff walked out the week before your wedding. So they were on skeleton crew plus agency staff.
Yep.
And that just came up in conversation before I realised who he was. But we ended up having quite an interesting conversation about what I do for a living. And it was reassuring to know at the end of the day, I went, oh, okay. So I wasn't going mad. But it wasn't noticeable to anyone else. Everyone else had a brilliant time.
So we were very lucky it actually happened in the end. Very long story short, the venue changed hands immediately before we got married. So we every time we had a check-in with the venue to make sure the tablecloths were ordered, it was fine, and what drinks we wanted at the bar, it was like, are we still going to have a wedding here? Because they sort of restructured all the pricing for the takeover because they were losing money on weddings, and we managed to get all our pricing on the old system where we paid the deposit. So we were incredibly lucky that it still happened and we didn't have to fork out loads of extra money for nothing. So we were wrong place, wrong time, all right wedding. So yeah, we were all right.
Wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. It works both ways. But the important thing to take from
a wedding with them saying, yeah, we're selling the venue. Oh.
The important thing to take from this is that I'm such a good friend. I flew with my one chance to leave America in the year that I was there. I was allowed to leave once, and I flew back for John's wedding. That's what a good friend I am. That's what you take from this story, listeners. Okay?
Listeners, do you mean me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not listening anymore.
Anyway,
why would you want your other half to plan it all?
To even up the scores, just because you said you're going to get a television company, Don't Tell the Bride, to finance yours, I'm going to get Married at First Sight to finance mine.
Ooh. Very good. But then technically she's not planning the wedding. It's producer Bill from accounts has budgeted, and that's what you can have.
Well, why is it? I mean, sorry, 2019. Don't tell the bride. How about don't tell the groom? Come on, equality. You could be the
But-
first. You could be the first contestant on Don't Tell the Groom.
I mean, let's be honest though. How many grooms actually know what's going on?
I had a very good idea. We planned most of it like as a joint effort, because neither of us had done it before, and we had no idea what we were doing, so we did it together. So I think if I was going to have to plan a wedding all by myself, I would have a very good idea of what I wanted and what I wanted to achieve out of it. If I
How
had to do it
many
again.
of your,
Normally
how
it's a
many of
marriage.
your ideas? How many of your ideas to the finer details, the venue, without having a discussion with your wife, would you have got that she would have been happy about? And I don't mean okay with, I mean happy.
If you're saying if I have to put money out of like my own pocket and make my own decisions, it'd probably be quite a safe, normal affair. But if you gave me 14 grand of go blow it, and we'll record the results, I reckon I'd have been a lot more of a liability. I'm not going to lie.
That's what I mean. You're either going very safe
Yep.
because you're planning it for her essentially.
Well, it's for us, isn't it?
It is for both of you, but you're gonna have in the back of your mind, I'm doing this for her. She has no input. You kind of want to do a little bit more than you probably would do if you were putting ideas forward as a joint venture.
Yeah.
So
If I was doing it for both of us, I'd make sure there was, if there's bubbly at the table, there's, we're in nice suits and she gets a nice dress, and then for me, we'd have like enchiladas for a sit-down meal because I'd like that.
FYI to you two and any you cunts listening that are coming to my. Sorry, Mum, I've said that word 3 or 4 times. I do apologise. But any of you, when you come to my wedding, no fizz. Nobody likes it.
true.
Nobody
Yeah, true.
likes it.
No.
I will serve something different. This is not. Lauren and I have had conversations about. We've got the general plan sorted. It's the details that we're going to argue about. But
Can
Fizz
can you-
is one of them. Nobody likes it. Like, the people that want it, there's the bar. But I'm not just going to give everyone a glass of fizz. The amount of fizz that... brother, you've at least worked weddings. The amount of fizz that just goes down the drain because people don't like it. I'd much rather give everyone a glass of Pimm's to toast with because everyone likes Pimm's.
I was going to say, have you noticed the increase in people having Pimm's at weddings?
Yeah.
I
Especially at the
think
summer
we
wedding.
should mix it up totally. I think you should just have an alcoholic milkshake.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Guinness, but that's the same thing.
The only problem is with that, for like X amount of people, you've got to have a lot of blenders go in, and then that's where you.
And you do not have a good history with blenders.
I do not. I broke 2 blenders in the last week.
What?
I didn't break 2. My mother gave
was
me
a
an
good-
old one that she had. It exploded, and I mean, like, the base of it just like fell out halfway through blending a milkshake. I was like, oh no, milkshake's fine. Lauren says to me, well, we were talking about what you want for Christmas. Should I just get you a new blender? I went, yeah. So we went to Scotland. I proposed in the graveyard. We came back from Scotland. She went, oh, your blender's arrived. I went, why have you bought it so early? She went, you wanted one? I saw one. I bought it. It's done. Do you want it now? You might as well have it now rather than Christmas. I went, fuck it, I want a blender now. We had some friends over. I made some milkshakes. Put in the Oreos. Put in the ice cream. Put in the milk. Zzzz. Something smells like burning. Maybe I'm just having a stroke. Zzzz. Bang. Big flash.
Maybe I'm having a stroke. Fuck it, I'm making these milkshakes.
Big flash. Big smoke. Blender broken. Like,
What is wrong with you?
Oreos aren't even the hardest. Well, because I thought I was imagining it. I didn't genuinely think I was having a stroke, but like, I thought I was imagining it.
Of course you imagine the smell of burnt toast because you're having a stroke and there isn't any burnt toast in the house.
So, yeah, two blenders, literally a week. So Lauren's emailed the people they bought it off saying, bought your blender for my fiance now, and well, we nearly killed him. So
He
now
can't even lift his left arm above his head.
so now every time we have a disagreement, she threatens me with a blender. It's not cool.
So
What, to blend you?
just a theory. Are you sure she was keen on saying yes and didn't feel forced into it and now is trying to come up with other ideas to get out of it?
Well, I realised this. So, now that I've proposed, and this didn't occur to me at all until after I proposed, but a proposal is basically a man, depending on the type of man, but spending a moderate to good amount of money on a piece of jewellery to basically say to a woman that he's currently happy with, please don't leave me.
Yeah, it's a bribe.
It's a bribe. Where the
Do
fuck's
you know
my
what
bribe?
do you know what happens after you get married? You buy
What?
them an eternity ring, which is please stay with me for a bit longer, because we all know no one lives for eternity, so that's a big lie.
Have you not seen the video on Facebook of the woman asking the guy? She says, when we first got together, you always used to buy me like flowers and boxes of chocolates and rings. Why don't you do that anymore? And his response is, have you ever seen a fisherman give worms to a fish he's already caught?
Touche.
Fair enough. I will not repeat that because then I might be unengaged very quickly. Then I would just be Matthew, sans one ring.
And no blenders.
No blenders. We couldn't even handle Oreos. Could you imagine if I tried to throw the ring in the blender as a threat? Anyway, so who's planning the wedding?
Me.
Not me.
Okay.
One, a wedding is a lot of hassle. So essentially what it is 1 day of a lot of fake smiles and stress for all the people you don't really care if they're there or not, to be honest.
They call it a celebration of love. What it is, it's a big party where you show off.
And you feed everyone.
The amount of money that gets spent on it is enough to buy a house up north.
Whoa, bit casting some shade on the north.
Oh,
Okay.
You're claiming you're a northerner now.
Yeah, I am.
You lived up there 3 years and you think you're all big, hard northern. You can go outside without your big coat on in the winter.
I moved up here in 2009. I think you'll find that's called a decade.
You
Yes,
did not move up there in
That's back to
2009.
Basingstoke.
I moved back down south to Basingstoke. I first moved up here in 2009.
Yeah,
You're not a permanent resident, though, are you?
Well, I
you
am
weren't
now.
there.
You're like a migrating bird. North, south, north, south.
All right. You were lived in Scotland and then you moved to Huntingdon and went, this'll do.
Yeah. I've made do.
Yeah.
What?
I kept flying around for the best twigs to make my nest with.
That's literally what you're doing.
To be fair, you don't live in Huntingdon, unlike some people on this podcast.
But all three of us.
Shows they've got resilience and character.
We didn't so much go to a secondary school. We served a sentence.
Like a mutant after an apocalypse. You're essentially the Blinky the Three-Eyed Fish of our friendship group.
No. And yet you're his brother. What does that say about you?
I'm Mr. Burns, the one that toxicated him.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Oh.
To be fair, if you didn't shave your head, you would probably be looking a lot like Mr. Burns right now.
True.
You leave Matt's distinctive hunch out of this.
You were my honourable sacrifice. You know when you see in like the comedy horror films where they're running away, I just tripped Nathan up as I was running away from Huntingdon. It's like, sacrifice yourself, I'll save me. It's like, what? It's meant to be the other way round. It's like, it's okay, I'll make it. I'd love to even take it back and say it's not as bad as we say it is, but brother, you live there.
Yeah, no argument.
It's bad when they put a cage around our secondary school, and in the words of the Watchman, it wasn't to keep people out.
It's very true. I'm a little bit disappointed. If you Google St Peter's School, Huntingdon, the website that had it listed as St Peter's School for Chaps no longer tops the list for first Google. The school's own website was like third. And second was like a news article referring to St Peter's School for Chavs on another website.
Amazing.
That's brilliant.
Anyway, we've got distracted. It's going to be a very long episode, so Right, John, you said you're planning. Brother, you said you don't want to plan. So, John, very quickly, plan yours and Nathan's wedding, and I'll decide the winner based on whether I think Nathan would like it or not.
Right. Okay. First of all, Nathan will be picked up from his abode in his lovely dress by a ribboned up VW Transporter, because
Okay.
I know he's a fan of a good work van.
Nathan's in the dress, and knowing both of you, yeah, I think Nathan would be a power bottom. So yes, 1 point.
Full veil, big train, no boofy shoulder pads. He needs to show the sleeves off. He hasn't put the hard work and effort into them to not have them seen by the masses.
Yeah.
So sun's out, guns out.
Okay.
And we did the whole. I've done the whole church and then venue thing, and I think just for ease of everyone, having the whole ceremony under one roof would be a lot easier. So I think he'd appreciate that, not having to be carted around all day every day.
Sorry, we're going through a tunnel apparently.
Yeah, that's Nathan making his way to the venue.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
to go under he's got to go through the Dartford crossing.
That's in London.
Yeah, he's not got to travel around all day every day. He's just got to travel 3 hours to get there in his dress with his guns out, sweating. Okay, that's a point lost.
In the back of a van.
Yeah. Blindfolded, gagged.
You can be in the front of the van.
What, with a really long train on my dress? You've not
put it
thought
on-
it through.
You put it on the second seat in the middle.
He has
Screw
got you through.
3 seats.
Point John.
So it's the venue's under one roof, and it's going to be some stately home, hotel-y thing. So all the guests that travel from the north, Matthew, and the south,
Travelling.
from deepest Arc and others from deepest Arc, it's Norfolk, can travel in and have someone to lay their head at night. I always thought a really good arrival drink would be a Bellini, which is prosecco flavoured with peach. Nazi type.
Nathan.
light
Pure,
Nathan?
isn't it?
Yeah,
Puree.
Nathan, fan of a Bellini? It wasn't a no, so yeah, point John again.
Doing a lot better than I thought it was going to. Yes,
It is
Bellini.
Prosecco though, so it's sparkling, which we did decide was
Yeah,
Not the
okay.
one.
Point
But it isn't
to
champers.
each of you. Point to each of you.
So
So there was no point to the point.
No, so it's still level pegging.
Next point.
So yeah, there'll be arrival drinks for people, and everyone would have a good time, do a bit of mingling, and then the Master of Ceremonies will come, and then Nathan will walk down the aisle.
Who's the master of ceremonies?
DJ like an MC Neat.
Oh, good answer. I was going to say you can't beat reanimating Macho Man Randy Savage, but yeah, no, I'll give you that. And walking down
No.
the aisle is Nathan. Yeah.
But what I'd do is I'd also get Hulk Hogan to do the evening Master of Ceremonies. So every time
no.
Matt as your maid of honor said, "Brother," you get Hulk Hogan. Hear that, brother? And everyone would be like,
see,
"Yeah."
see,
And if anyone kicks off, there'll be steel chairs left, right, and centre, mate.
I didn't agree because he stole the wrestling idea from me, but he's taken the brother idea and he's made it better. So another point, John. He's doing very well. Brother, you do worse than that so far.
Oh, when I decide to convince the wife that a polyamorous relationship is a good idea, I'll hit you up, Nathan. I promise.
The only problem with this is you've decided what's good for me, and Matt's okayed it.
Because you haven't decided anything yourself.
We've not finished. You're married, but you need the rest of the word, so come on.
I would delve back in time to about between 2006 and 2010 and find the best tunes. I'd dig out original iPods and mini disc players and sift through and make a playlist of all the good stuff I found on them. We could have a bit
From
of a blast on the past.
2006 to 2010.
Yes.
To be fair, I think you could make a mega 4-hour playlist from those years.
I
Original
think
Funeral
there's
Friends,
better time frames
first
to
2
pick.
albums of Fall Out Boy.
It's a very emo playlist, brother, but that was about the time that you grew out your hair and you started getting into rock and metal and other things.
That's the time when I met Nathan.
Exactly.
It's around the time when I met Nathan.
Oh, and that's so romantic because it's around the time that you two met. It's around the time you two met, brother. Why are you not romantic?
But can you see your family members listening to Hawthorne Heights?
I don't care. It's not about them. It's about you and me.
It's about you two. And I would love to see you two dance your first dance to Blue Burns Orange by Hawthorne Heights.
Oh.
How am I meant to move to that in this dress?
You just windmill. Just windmill those arms.
And he's given you a massive veil so you can headbang once again. His final gift to you... John wins. Single tear in my eye.
What was the
dying.
final score?
I am the final score was all John, none you. And
So John comes back and has to ask questions.
I'm going to do nothing but send you both pictures of each other's faces and wait for the moment that one of you texts me saying, "So we went for a drink." I get a text from John's wife saying, "You've destroyed our marriage," and then we have John as a brother, and then we can start our own podcast of would John's brother and me.
My brother-in-law.
Would it not just need a bigger bath?
I mean,
That's all right. With our 3 joint incomes, we could afford a hot tub.
Yeah, if you two are married, I
Or
don't
a
think
bath.
I'd want to get in a bath with both of you.
Why not?
The awkward bit would be introducing John to Mother, because we know how Mother feels about John. And
Your mother would be heartbroken that you settled for the shit, John.
every single time we bring up how she hates you, I get a text message saying, "I don't hate John. I just disagree with some of his."
Your mum would be so disappointed that you settled.
Nathan,
I'll try and win over Nathan. I'll try and win her over. I promise. We'll make it work.
Oh my god, if this ever actually happened, and please, both of you, after hearing that, consider your options, but I would wait for Nathan to walk in, have a conversation with Mother and say, "I've met someone," and then I would walk in full 15th century gear with a fucking trumpet and go, "Presenting John." And my mum would get all excited and I'd go, "Without an H." And you can picture it now, can't you? Just, oh no.
I can see the look on her face as her heart literally rips in two.
And then conversations out in my mother's orchard of Nathan go, "But Mother, I love him. I love him, Mother."
And then the mandatory fireworks go off.
Yeah. At 9 p.m. every night, wherever you are. So anyway, this was a matchmaking would John rather. This has been the newly betrothed John and Nathan, and next week John will be pouting because Nathan's not here. We'll see you then.
I love you.
Haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn